Hello once again, my fellow artists. I'm back again today with another one of our painting book preview / review. These are books that are supposed to be beginner friendly for artists, for painters, just like you guys. And as a more experienced artist, I'm just taking a look at these books and just kind of letting you know my thoughts on them, whether, they would be helpful for you, maybe not. And again, just kind of taking a peek inside the books and so you can check them out for yourself. So today's book that we are going to look at is Be an Artist in 10 Steps, Watercolor, Pastels, Oils, Acrylics, and Pencils. So once again, it definitely helps to be a library worker. Support your local libraries, and if you do have art books in your library, definitely go check them out. That's what I have definitely been doing for all these videos for you guys. So this is, as we can see, pretty thick. It's a pretty thick one. And I'll show you some behind the scenes or, sneak peeks, take a look inside, whatever you want to call it, as we go through this video. So I can read you the description from the back as we get started, looking into it and stuff. This unique art course will teach you all the skills you need to create beautiful works of art in just 10 steps. Follow this series of simple projects to master the essential techniques for each medium, then put your skills together for a final masterpiece. So right off the bat, I do think this book is very thorough because it is, it is quite a thick book and there's a lot to it in here. So I do think, just letting you guys know right away, I do think this book is definitely worth it, especially for beginners who might not know a lot about things like color theory. That is definitely covered in this book, which is super duper helpful. And it is more than just, step by step, here's how to paint this, here's how to draw this. There is some techniques that are taught, some extra skills that you might definitely not be taught in beginner courses a lot of times, like composition and how to go about using all these different mediums that are discussed in the book on your own. Another big thing that I think sets this book apart from maybe some others that we might have looked at before is the fact that it does cover so many different mediums, right? So if you're a painter, typically we paint in either watercolor, acrylics, or oils. Those three are covered in this book, so each medium as a painter, you're going to get the whole rundown on each of those. However, also included is a section on pastels, which are not used as frequently, I think, as paint, and pencils. So you do get a little bit of insight of drawing techniques and stuff. But essentially in each section, everything is broken up into, just like the title says, 10 steps. Now these aren't like your traditional step 1, draw this, step 2, color in the orange, it's not like that. It's like a step-by-step of a process of understanding each medium. So for example, in acrylics, there's step 1 through 10. Some of the steps you might see are the basic paint application, steps to do with color, steps to do with different techniques, steps to do with how to make painting effects, and of course that composition before bringing it all together with some type of project, your masterpiece at the end of each section. And again, what I really do like about this book is that color theory, because you guys, I've harped on color theory for ages now. You guys know this because I've offered so many, color theory classes and workshops, even some free ones here on YouTube that you can definitely check out. Because color theory is so dang important, let's be honest, I really, really like that it's basically covered in every single section of this book. So it's not just covered once at the beginning, here's an overview of what color theory is, and now just, figure it out on your own with each of these different mediums that are included in the book. No, it's actually its own step in each of these sections so that you understand, how color theory works within the realm of watercolor, within the realm of pastels, within the realm of acrylics, you know what I mean? Also saying that though, the color theory section, because it is, in every single section, it's really only a few, just a couple pages long. So it's not a super duper in-depth, whole course on color theory within each section. It is more of just a crash course, but I suppose that's okay for this book because you probably want to get into, learning everything else kind of quickly and actually get to the part where you get to start painting. Now again, there's some different techniques that are covered Especially I do like in the acrylic section that it talks about watercolor techniques with, yes, making watercolors out of acrylics, which I do absolutely all the time and I love it. And I'm so glad I found a book that actually describes doing the exact same thing. Like, you guys can trust me now, I'm not the only one that does this technique of making watercolors out of acrylics. It's definitely a professional technique that a lot of others use as well. Things like painting with your spatula or your painting knife, that sort of technique is also covered in the acrylic section. I did, for the sake of this video, just kind of focus on looking through and showing you into the watercolor and acrylic sections of the book the most, because here on my channel and also, you know, in life, those are my two mediums, right? I always work in either acrylics and sometimes watercolors as well. Just like all of the classes that you guys know I teach over on Canvas Academy, which if you have not already, be sure to check those out as well. But also aside from that, further into the book, we do have these sections on like pastels, which I don't think are used really that frequently. I don't even know if I used them in my own art when I was taking art classes in school. It's not as commonly used or commonly taught, especially not nearly as common as paint, because when we think of art, we often think of drawing and painting first. So I really like that that section was included in here, and I think if you check out the book for yourself, it might be worth it to like give the pastel section a try, because you might actually, you know, be really good at it or really enjoy it. You know, you never know. But also I do like that this book does include just a few. I think that it could include a little bit more of like project ideas and things that you can do, because personally, I am definitely someone who learns by doing, and I think most people of the population of the world, right? Like we all tend to learn pretty well when we're actually doing and applying what we're learning. So I think having a variety of like projects that you can follow along with is really, really super duper important. And like I said, there are just a few projects in this book, but I think it would be really helpful if there were even more, like at least one project per step, you know, because there's those different sections. Each section covers a medium, and then within each section there are those 10 steps. So like 10 steps to become really good at acrylic painting or watercolor painting. Well, within each step, I think it would be really helpful to have like not just a like whole painting to do, but at least a little mini project that like, here, try this on your own to see if you can master this, right? So overall, I do think there could be a couple more projects in the book, but aside from that, definitely not bad. And you guys, like overall, I think this book is actually kind of worth it, especially for beginners, but not just beginners, because I think it also goes over a little bit more intermediate to even advancing techniques that, you know, I definitely did not learn right off the bat when I was first starting out as a painter, as an artist in general. So yeah, this is how to be an artist in 10 steps. I think it is kind of worth giving it a try if you can get your hands on it. And again, as always, check out your local library may have a book just like this or very similar that you can definitely check out for free, and then you can probably really dive in to start learning and teaching yourself some art tips for free. And speaking of free, as always, make sure that you check out any of the free classes and workshops and all the tutorials I have here on my channel. And like I mentioned earlier, you can always check out my Canvas Academy online learning platform to learn even more about painting in general. We do all sorts of like acrylic and watercolor painting techniques, classes, courses, all the things over on Canvas Academy. So I will link that below if you are interested in learning more on how to paint and all the things and becoming a pro, right? That's what we're all after, becoming a pro, I think. So yeah, that was the book review of the day today. Hopefully I'll be able to come up with some more books to check out for you guys, so be in tune in the future to see if we have more in store. But aside from that, I wish you all happy painting adventures in your next whatever else you've got going on today. I don't know. But until maybe I might paint with you again or for the first time very soon in one of my painting classes or elsewhere. Until then, happy painting to all my fellow artists out there.